So today you only have two types of problems, and they're actually really easy. It's just going to take us a little bit to figure out the new rules. Logarithms have three rules that come with it, just like all those other rules that are up on the wall for algebra and arithmetic, rules that affect multiplying and adding, dividing, and then you have the order of operations rules on the other wall. Logarithms have three rules, and the rules are called the power rule, the product rule. That's not how you spell product. And the quotient rule. Okay? And individually, each one of these rules is very simple, but sometimes all three rules happen at the same time. So we need to understand each rule first, and then we'll figure out how to work them all together. So the power rule says if I have log base 2 of x to the third, that is exactly the same thing as 3 times log base 2 of x. So what the power rule says is if you have an exponent inside the logarithm, then you can move that exponent out front and turn it into a multiplication problem. Okay? Also, if you have a logarithm with a number out front, you can take that number inside the logarithm and turn it into an exponent. So this is kind of like converting from mixed numbers to improper fractions. 1 and 1/2 is exactly the same thing as 3/2. Okay? And sometimes we prefer one version and sometimes we prefer another. Okay? The product rule says if I have the log base 2 of x times y, so inside a logarithm I have two things multiplied together, that is exactly the same as log base 2 of x plus log base 2 of y. So if there's a multiplication inside a single logarithm, I can split that into two logarithms that are added together. And the quotient rule is similar. If I have log base 2 of x divided by y, that's exactly the same thing as the log base 2 of x minus the log base 2 of y. And those are the three rules. Okay? Yes, if you need to take a picture of it, go for it. For sure. Just make sure I'm not in your pictures. I feel like a celebrity all of a sudden. Oh, he did. That's okay. I just can't see anymore. All right. So, how do we use these rules? Well, let's say I had log base 5 of x to the third times y times x plus 1. Okay. Well, what do we have here? We have a single exponent, so we can use the product rule for that one. We also have two sets of multiplication, so we have three factors. So we can split each one of those into its own positive logarithm. So let's do this. This gets its own log, this gets its own log, and this gets its own log. Okay? Why can I not split those? And they are added. The rule is the product rule, and product means multiply. Okay? So, they're all going to be log base 5. So the first one is log base 5 of x to the third. But the power rule says what? Take the 3 and put it out front. So I'm going to get rid of that and put it here. Plus log base 5 of y plus log base 5 of x plus 1. We call that expanding a logarithm. We take something that has been crunched together and we pull it apart as far as we can. Does everybody understand that? Okay, let's do a new one. What if I had log base 5 of a squared b over c squared d? D squared. Okay. Everything on top is going to get a positive logarithm, and everything on bottom is going to get a negative logarithm. And I need to apply the power rule here, here, and here. So 2 log base 5 of a plus, and there's a 1 there. I can bring the 1 down if I want, but there's no point. So b, oh, that's not what I wanted. Log base 5 of b minus 2 log base 5 of c minus 2 log base 5 of d. Do you guys understand that? All factors in the numerator get positive logarithms. All factors in the denominator get negative logarithms. And then the exponents come down. Does that make sense? Sure. Okay. What about this? Let's do like that. How many logarithms will I end up with? 4. So this is 1, this is 1, that's 1, and that's 1. Okay? Only the multiplication gets split. You cannot split an addition or subtraction. So 2 log base x of a plus 5 log base x of b plus c plus log base x of c plus d plus log base x, 3 log base x of d plus e. You guys understand that? Yeah? Okay. Now, let's go backwards. Can I crunch those back together? Yes. Why? Because they're all log base 5. So in order to put them back together, those have to match. What if one of them was a 6? Right, you can put the 5s together, but not the 6. Okay, so now we're going backwards. I'm going to crunch all of that into a single logarithm. What goes inside? x to the 7th. So that gets bumped up. That gets bumped up. B to the 6th. And that gets bumped up. And it goes in the bottom, right? So x plus 1 to the 3rd, like that. Does that make sense? Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, what about can I put them together? Yes, they're all 3s. And the order is kind of mixed up, but that doesn't matter. Everything positive goes in the numerator. Everything negative goes in the denominator. So log base 3 of a squared c squared over b squared times a plus b. Oh, wait, b to the 3rd. Sorry. A plus b to the 4th. Okay? That makes sense? All right, that's it. Get to work.